On today's video, we've got one of my favorite mowers that has come in, and it's actually got a really nice hood on it. It's a custom mower, and they got it for free and want me to fix it so they can turn around and flip it. So let's go ahead and get into it, see what's wrong with it, and hopefully get this thing ready to roll here pretty shortly. So this is a John Deere LX277. It looks like the hood's been replaced on it because it doesn't have John Deere logos on it, although it has LX277 logos on it. But yeah, it looks really nice actually. And a couple guys that I've done some work for, they work on this stuff. They got this thing for free, want me to work my magic on it, and then I'll make my cut, they make their cut. When they sell it, everybody's happy, right? So what this is doing, it's got 17 horsepower Kawasaki V-twin. It only runs on choke. As soon as I let off the choke, it dies out. So it should just be a simple carb clean. I'm going to look around the machine to see if there's anything else going on with it, just to make sure that it doesn't need any other maintenance items besides that. No hour meter on it, so not sure how old it or how many hours are on it, but we'll get this thing back running, and I'll go ahead and we'll dive into it here next. So I'm going to give you all a brief overview of what it sounds like. I'm going to go ahead and open the hood up. Always be careful when you open them hoods because you really don't want to mess anything up on them. I think they replaced the battery in it already, so because it starts good. And let's see, so I'll show you, it'll run on choke, but that's it. It dies out. So we've got it clogged. One of the jets seems to be clogged in here. I'm going to get the hood off, which should be pretty easy. You just have to unplug headlight switch, and I believe this thing just raises up. Let's see. There we go. So it just raises up off of there. Your carburetor and all that stuff is situated in this general area. It's not necessarily the easiest to get to, but should be fine. Actually, almost looks like somebody may have put a fuel pump on this at one point as well. I know it's not the fuel pump because it will stay running with the choke on, which means that it's getting enough fuel in order to run with the choke on, and it's throwing out a little bit of black smoke. So should just be a pretty standard carb clean here. So there are some adjustments up top here, but I think that I have a jet completely clogged, so I'm going to pull the carb off and fix that. There's two 10 millimeters under here. I'm going to get this cover off. We'll venture into what is next after that. Okay, so I got that piece off, just a couple bolts there, screws. So got to take the ground wire off. Make sure your ignition switch is off. When you do this, this is the ground wire for the anti-backfire solenoid, which apparently doesn't want to come off, but either way. The other screw you have down here is like a bowl screw. As you can see, it came off and is draining the gas out just fine. We'll let that continue to drain out, and I'm going to get this screw off of the ground wire here, one way or the another. So and then it's just, after I do this, it's just a matter of the linkages, getting those off, and we should be good. So let me pull this out enough. Can I get this out enough to where I can just, no, okay. So let's just take it off down here on the bottom. Let me put that out of the way for a moment. That's just a little bracket that looks like it stays right there. So now, what I got to do is somehow get these linkages and stuff off, which it kind of looks like I've got to take this plate off the bottom down here, which appears to be T30 Torx or something like that. So I'm going to take those two bolts off. We're going to see if we can get the linkages off, and then we're going to look at the carburetor itself. Loosen that plate up. That got us off, which is good linkage-wise. That's just a little fuel extra tube right there. So now I just got everything's off, which is good. And we'll take this over to, it looks like we've got a top jet up here. I might just take that top jet off to see if it's clogged here first. And then if we need to, we'll get into taking the bowl out. We actually might do, we'll do both while we got it off. Let me get this over to my bench. We'll clean the carb off, see if we got any jets clogged on it, and hopefully get this thing running good again soon. So I've got it on the little carb bench here. That jet I took off right there, just with a flathead screwdriver, and it looks like we may have a little bit of junk in it. It doesn't look to be crazy, but there it is. My carb spray, we'll see if we can spray some stuff through here. Yeah, it looks like we can spray stuff through here, so appears like we were good there, which is good. There's another jet. There's a really small jet. Actually, I think there's two. One's way down in here, and one's right there. So I'm going to just hit those up real quick as well. May not take them out. Let me just, as long as I know I've got some good. Oh yeah, that one's definitely good. I can see that one spraying out the top here, so that's good as well. So it looks like we're all good on the jet front there. I'll go ahead and screw this one back in, make sure everything's nice and clean on it, which it does appear to be. And now what I'm going to do is just take the bowl nut off. We're going to look inside the carburetor after that, and the bowl nut, and we'll see what it looks like underneath the carb bowl. We'll be careful with carb spray here because I don't want to eat this gasket up and cause it to expand and then cause it to leak. But we'll definitely look inside the bowl, see how that looks here next. So looking inside the carb here, it's not terrible by any means. We got a little bit of green junk right here on the bottom of this, which I'll soak in a little bit of carb spray. Hopefully we can get that out fairly easily. I'm going to be careful about the carb spray up here because I don't want that gasket up there to become compromised. But we do have a little bit of junk right here, and looks like we got a little bit of junk around the jet. So I'm going to take the jet out, clean it up a little bit, as long as it will allow me to. Yeah. Like I said, this mower appears to have been taken pretty good care of up until it sat for whatever reason, for whatever period of time. And that jet is basically clogged. I can't really see any light through it. So I'm going to grab my tools over here, and we're just going to take one of these and send it through there. I think this is going to be big enough, yeah. So it should just be a simple cleaning of the jets. The mower itself also was almost out of oil, so I'm going to go ahead and change the oil in it as well, or at least I'm going to change the oil with new filter and stuff. But You can see, I don't know if you can see it on camera now, but you've got, there you go, you got a hole in it, hole in the jet now, so that was probably our cause for all along there for our issues. So, the other thing we've got to do is get this junk out of this general area right here as well. Let's see. Grab this. Like I said, there's just a little bit of junk in there. I'm going to spray this a little bit, make sure we're good there. We are. Just trying to get some of this stuff out here. And I'm going to get a rag and we're going to wipe that clean. Hopefully it will wipe clean. And I might have to get a little bit of a screwdriver or something to, I don't know, it's coming out. So I'm going to continue with that. Get this little extra off right here. And you can see where it's come off some. Get all that off, and so we should be good to go. I'll go ahead and put it all back together. Just have to put the bowl nut back on and put the jet back in it, and we should be good to go. Y'all saw how I took it off. I'm going to go ahead and put it back on, and then after I put it back on, we'll give this thing and give it an oil change. Next, we will try this mower out. Hopefully it runs a lot better. Just want to show you how everything went back together before I put the cover back on here. So, don't forget, there's that little bracket there that you have to put the grounding screw for the anti-backfire solenoid back into. Before you put the carb all back onto the studs, you have this loose still, right? So keep this loose. You get your linkage with the governor spring in for the throttle on the back side, and then your choke on the front side. Slide this on, and then put this plate on that houses your throttle and your choke. Again, put your fuel line on. Make sure that this hose didn't fall off or anything. It's just kind of like a fuel drain hose, just in case you've got something going on with the carb overflowing the needle in the seat. It kind of redirects the fuel to a different area so that it doesn't get on the hot exhaust. So that's basically it. The next order of business is to put this back on. So you've got your breather hose that's going to go up top. I just routed that down below for the moment so that we could do that and have better access. So I put the breather hose in, and then we're just going to slide that back on, a couple of 10 millimeters. And we've got just to put the air filter on after this too. So put the air filter and stuff on. I just want to confirm it runs first. Currently I've got the oil draining. I'm going to get the remainder of the oil out, and then take the filter off, and then once I get the oil in it, we'll crank her up. Hopefully it runs a lot better. Alright, so let's try this thing out. New oil's in it, hopefully good to go, and hopefully this thing will run a whole lot better now, so let's see. make sure everything works. Wanted to surge there at high idle there for a second, but I think it's good. Like I said, I could be searching all day trying to get that little bitty hunt out. I don't think it's really going to affect anything at all. I'm going to go ahead and service the mower. Basically, all I got left is to grease the front end. I'm going to make sure the deck is level. I'm going to sharpen the blades, and we'll be good to go after that. But I think for this video, we're pretty much done. We'll wrap this video up. After I filmed the final clip, I did have to jet out one of the carb jets. The one that I did is the one that you can access without having to take the bowl off. You just have to slide the carb forward, and it's that one that's on the side, not the ones in the front. Take that out. I drilled it out to 6/1000ths. And that seems to have solved the running issue. And it seems like it's good to go now. So there we go, guys. Done with this LX277. Luckily, it just needed a carb clean, but I like getting these mowers in because these things right here will run forever and ever, and they will just not stop, which is excellent. So, but yeah, so we're done with this. And if y'all remember, I had that 277 with over 2,000 hours on it at one point, and was still kicking. This thing probably has far less, is in better condition. Has a nice hood on it. I told them to hopefully list it for $800 to $900 and get that out of it. I think even though it only has the 42-inch deck, I think somebody's really going to appreciate it. I really like these mowers as well, and I know whoever buys this thing, they're going to get such good use out of it. One other thing I have to do after I finish as a part of the service is just put I think I just got to top off the hydraulic fluid a little bit. It seems like it's a little bit lazy when we first start, which means it may be a little bit on the low side. So I'll put a few ounces of fluid in there. Hopefully get all that resolved as well. Again, it's one of these machines that hasn't been running in a while, so things have got to get moving again, so to speak. Thanks again for watching this video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it very much, and we'll have more repairs coming. The driveway's full of stuff already here in middle of March. So I will catch y'all on the next video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you then.